All right, so let's get into this. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a really specific document. It's the Australian Fair Work Ombudsman's pay guide for the car parking award.
Hmm.
And it basically details the entire pay structure for the sector. We're looking at what it really means to balance, a base wage against some pretty difficult hours.
And these rates are current,
Yep.
effective July 4, 2024. So our mission here isn't just to read out the numbers from the award. That's MA 000000095, by the way. It's to figure out where the real money is made. We're looking at the three main classifications, level 1, 2, and 3, and seeing if getting promoted is really worth it.
Or if it's all about the shift work. Okay, so let's start with the base rates. Full-time workers.
Right.
For a level 1, it's $24.66 an hour.
And for a level 3, which you'd think is a big jump, maybe a supervisor, it goes up to $26.38.
That's what, $1.72 an hour difference? That seems like a tiny reward for taking on way more responsibility.
Exactly. And that leads to the big question, why even bother pushing for level 3? The answer is right there in the structure. It's designed to incentivize working the worst hours.
Not necessarily getting the highest rank.
Precisely. This is where the multiplier effect is just incredible. So you're that level 1 worker making your $24.66.
Yeah.
On a public holiday, your rate jumps to $61.65 per hour.
Wow. Okay, so that's nearly 2.5 times the standard wage. The base rate almost becomes irrelevant at that point.
It really does. And the details on the shifts are vital. So for that same level 1 employee, an afternoon shift bumps you to $27.74 an hour.
A nice little bonus.
But if you're on a permanent night shift, and that means you're consistently working nights, that pay jumps, again, to $30.83.
So the award actually recognizes that being on nights all the time is harder than just doing it occasionally.
Yes. It requires a higher compensation floor. And if you want to see where it really gets serious, look at the highest overtime penalty, $49.32 an hour.
For a level 1 worker.
For a level 1 worker. And that rate isn't just for working late. It's specifically triggered when you're forced to come back to work without getting a 10-hour rest break.
So wait, it's not just about extra time, it's the system financially punishing the employer for not letting you rest.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's a penalty. Now, what about casuals? That's a whole different story.
Okay, right. They have that casual loading built into their rate. So that level 3 position, which was $26.38 for full-time.
For casual, it rockets up to $32.98 per hour.
Big difference.
And it goes even deeper. The award tries to cover every little cost. We're talking about allowances.
Like what?
Okay, so if you have first aid duties, that's an extra 65 cents per hour, capped at about $24.55 a week. There's even a meal allowance. And the laundry allowance is different based on your status.
They specified laundry?
Yep. $16.49 a week for full-time staff, but $3.24 per shift if you're part-time or casual. They've thought of everything.
That is incredibly granular.
It is. Plus, if you have to travel between job sites, your employer has to pay for the cost and the time it takes you to travel.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you? The big takeaway seems to be that your pay in this sector is all about the when. It's about the hours you work.
Yeah, the structure clearly prioritizes shift work and public holidays. That's what will dramatically boost your income, much more than a small bump in classification.
So it's less about climbing the ladder and more about working the clock.
Exactly. And this raises a final important thought for you to consider. Given how detailed these penalties are, with all these distinctions between afternoon, permanent night, and that minimum rest break pay, how essential is it for an employee to basically become a meticulous bookkeeper of their own time? To make sure every single unique shift is recorded perfectly so they get every cent they're legally owed?